Welcome to the Speak Up English channel. Are you ready to embark on an exciting journey of language learning? At Speak Up, we're passionate about helping you improve your English listening skills. Our lessons are packed with engaging content, including short talks, conversations, reports, news, and captivating short stories. So, grab your headphones, sit back, and let's dive into the world of English together. Remember, every word you listen to brings you one step closer to fluency. Let's make this learning adventure fun and rewarding. Subscribe now and join our community at the Speak Up English channel. Let's learn, laugh, and grow together. Subscribe to Speak Up.
A Technology Quarterly on Health and AI.
Health and AI. Self-programming panaceas. AIs will make healthcare safer and better, reports Natasha Loder. It may even get cheaper too.
When people set goals which are sky high to the point of silliness, the sensible scoff. They are normally right to do so. Sometimes, though, it is worth entertaining the possibility that even the most startling aspiration might be achievable. In 2015, Priscilla Chan, a paediatrician, and her husband, Mark Zuckerberg, a founder of Facebook, set up the Chan-Zuckerberg Initiative, that's CZI, with the aim of helping science bring about a world in which all disease could be prevented, cured, or managed. Unsurprisingly, there was a tech-centric feeling to the undertaking, but it was not until 2020 that the Chan-Zuckerberg's annual update started to talk about the potential of artificial intelligence, that's AI. 4 years later, it is hard to imagine anyone pursuing their goals not putting it front and centre. The proportion of biomedical research papers which invoke artificial intelligence was climbing exponentially well before the field started dazzling the world with foundation models like OpenAI's various GPTs, generative pre-trained transformers, Meta's Llama and Gemini from Google. Given the vast amounts of data that biomedical research produces, AI's early application there is hardly a surprise. That past progress and promise, though, is a mere prelude to what is now underway. Artificial intelligence systems of similar power to the foundation models and large language models that generate cogent text in all manners of styles, answer complex questions quite convincingly and helpfully, and create images that capture the ideas expressed in verbal prompts are becoming a part of healthcare. They have applications for almost every part of it. They can improve the choices researchers make about how exactly to edit genes. They are phenomenally good at making sense of big data from disparate sources. They can suggest new targets for drug development and help invent molecules large and small that might work as drugs against them. The CZI itself is now working on building an AI-powered virtual cell with which it hopes to revolutionize all manner of biomedical research. The effects are not restricted to the lab. Various sorts of diagnosis in which AI is playing a role look ready to be transformed. Robot surgeons are taking on an expanding range of operations. The way that patients access health information and motivate themselves to follow treatment regimes looks ripe for reimagining as chatbots and wearable health monitors learn to work together. The productivity of healthcare systems seems likely to be improved significantly. Poorer countries may have the most to gain. An earlier generation of AI is already making itself felt in healthcare there. One advantage is that it can make quite modest equipment much more capable, allowing it to be used more widely and beyond the clinic. Smart stethoscopes can help users pick out salient details. Phones can be turned into tricorders that measure heart rate, temperature, respiration, and blood oxygen saturation all at once. Delivering reliable guidance for healthcare workers over the world in their native language offers an advance both straightforward and game-changing. If such tools can become widespread, and if healthcare systems are reshaped to get the most out of them, they should make it possible to deliver much better care. That represents an opportunity to improve the lives of hundreds of millions, even billions. Some see not a humanitarian breakthrough, but an epistemological one, a whole new sort of knowledge. Artificial intelligence can find associations and connections in bodies of disparate data too vast and knotted for humans to unpick without needing pre-existing models of what sorts of cause have what sorts of effect. Demis Hassabis, one of the founders of DeepMind, an AI powerhouse that is now part of Google, thinks that ability will change the way humans understand life itself. There are caveats. The foundation models that power generative applications like ChatGPT have some serious drawbacks. Whether you call it hallucinating, as researchers used to, or confabulating, as they now prefer to, they make stuff up. As with most AI, if you train them on poor or patchy data, the results will not be all they should be. If the data are biased, as health data frequently are, good data on minorities, low-income groups and marginalised populations is often harder to come by. The results will not serve the population as a whole as well as they should and may do harm in the underrepresented groups. The model's non-deterministic nature, they will not always respond in the same way to the same stimulus, raises philosophical and practical problems for those who regulate medical devices. Blood pressure cuffs and thermometers reflect reality more straightforwardly. None of this is stopping the market for products and services in healthcare AI from growing apace. Big AI companies have been keen on buying healthcare specialists. Healthcare companies are buying AI. Research and Markets, a firm of analysts, estimates that in 2023, the healthcare world spent about $13 billion on AI-related hardware, such as specialized processing chips and devices that include them, and software providing diagnostics, image analysis, remote monitoring of patients, and more. It sees that number reaching $47 billion by 2028. Analysts at CB Insights reckon investors transferred a whopping $31.5 billion in equity funding into healthcare-related AI between 2019 and 2022. Of the 1,500 vendors in health AI, over half were founded in the past 7 years. The digitisation of healthcare has seen its fair share of expensive disappointments. But there is a real possibility that AI will live up to some of the hope being placed in it. Simpler and more forgiving interfaces should help AI-based systems for handling data and helping with time management more congenial to doctors, patients and healthcare providers than those of yore. And healthcare systems sorely need a productivity boost if they are to adapt and improve in a world of high costs and older populations. The shortage of healthcare workers is predicted to reach nearly 10 million by 2030, about 15% of today's entire global health workforce. Artificial intelligence will not solve that problem on its own, but it may help. This report will look at 4 of the forms in which this help looks likely to come. There is the help already being provided to doctors making diagnoses. Help they sorely need given that 800,000 Americans are killed or disabled by bad medical decisions every year. There is the help provided to patients who want to understand their symptoms or need assistance and motivation to stay healthy. There is the help that AI research tools and data wrangling provide to companies trying to develop new treatments more quickly and reliably. And there is the help to the system as a whole. Today's health systems are heavily constrained by the scarcity of workers and knowledge. Artificial intelligence can provide significant support on both fronts. It may be the case that it can offer transformational amounts of it. Would such transformation mean that by 2100, all diseases will be prevented, cured or managed? Not in itself, but it is making that apparently hubristic goal look more likely. Discussions of the impact of AI are larded with fear and unease, sometimes appropriately. What it offers for health all around the world represents a radical potential for good.
Listen carefully.
In Britain, it's time for the boat race. Every year around the beginning of April, 250,000 spectators travel to West London, where they stand along the banks of the River Thames from Putney to Mortlake to see the University Boat Race. A worldwide television audience of around 400 million watches the race to discover which team of 8 rowers will win: the dark blues of Oxford or the light blues of Cambridge.
An English tradition. Why is the race so popular? It has a long tradition and is one of Britain's top annual sports events. Others include the FA Cup and Wimbledon. The first race took place in 1829 at Henley-on-Thames, after Cambridge student Charles Merivale sent a challenge to his Oxford University friend Charles Wordsworth, William Wordsworth's nephew. The race was so successful that the losers, Cambridge, challenged the winners to a rematch, and the tradition continues today. How good are the teams? The oarsmen are often of Olympic standard. Training for the race is hard, beginning in September with 5 or more sessions per week. How can students find time to train and study? Actor Hugh Laurie, better known as Dr. House, explains. I went to Cambridge to row, he admits. I studied anthropology because it gave me plenty of time to train. He says his greatest regret is losing the race to Oxford in 1980. The favourites. How do you decide which team to support? This is a common problem for the vast majority of spectators. Many people bet on the race, so they support the informed team. Indeed, newspapers endlessly analyze the prospects and form of the rowers in the weeks before the race. Some people simply prefer the team's colour, either light or dark blue, while others support the previous year's losing team, following the British love for the underdog.
Listen carefully.
What's that you're reading? Oh, it's called Cold Snow. I've just about finished it. It's by Emma Smith. Have you heard of her?
Yeah, I know her actually.
You know her?
Yeah, I've known her for years. She's a good writer, isn't she? And very successful.
Oh, I've enjoyed all of her novels. So, what's she like then?
She's very nice. Quite normal, really. Of course, being so successful means she can afford more expensive interests than most people.
Such as?
Well, she loves travelling all over the world.
Oh, must be nice to be able to do that. What sort of life does she lead when she's not travelling? Is it all high society parties?
No, not at all. She's taught me that the life of a writer is not what you'd expect. She has to have a daily routine the same as all of us. So she gets up early and writes from 8 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. She's very disciplined about it.
I always imagined her living in a big house in the country with a gorgeous husband and horses and everything.
No, it's nothing like that. She lives in a normal house with her 2 children. Of course, she has a nanny for the kids because she's away so much. And she's divorced. In fact, she's been divorced for as long as I've known her.
Oh, it must be so nice to be successful. But I wouldn't want to feel, that I'd done everything and didn't have any more ambitions. Nothing left to achieve.
Well, she has one big ambition, and that's to start a school for young writers. She says she wishes that she'd had more idea of what to do when she was starting out. So she wants to encourage young people as much as she can and give them a good start.
Listen carefully.
Wildlife on golf courses. You will hear a talk about the wildlife found on golf courses.
Golf today is one of the fastest growing sports. There are now almost 2,500 courses in Britain, and that number is increasing each year. With a growing number of people wanting to take up the game, more and more clubs are being formed to meet demand. All over the country, new courses are being constructed on farmland no longer needed for that purpose because of the increased efficiency of modern agricultural methods. Yet it's not just the golfers who are benefiting from this rapid expansion. Many of the courses provide a haven for wildlife, and most of the new courses under construction have been planned carefully to ensure that this will always be so. With proper planning, the land used in developing these new courses not only provides much-needed new playing facilities, it also creates an environment in which the natural wildlife can flourish. While some forms of wildlife on courses are positively encouraged, there are, however, a few animals that can only be regarded as a nuisance. Moles love golf courses and they thrive on them. But as they surface, they push up piles of earth above the grass that do considerable damage to the playing surface. Encouraging wildlife onto a golf course can prove counterproductive. What can you do if a magpie removes your ball from the hole and flies away with it? But the vast majority of wildlife on a golf course helps maintain nature's natural balance and, in addition, provides an attractive and interesting backdrop to the game. The ponds and lakes, for example, attract a large variety of plant and animal life, and it's surprising how quickly life appears in and around a newly created body of water. And the large variety of habitats that are often found on a course make finding food a little easier for the birds. At many coastal golf courses, adders can often be found. They don't present a threat to the golfers, as they are shy, timid snakes that glide off into the undergrowth if disturbed. Since they feed mainly on rodents, they play an important role in controlling the number of mice and other creatures that do damage to golf courses. Some inhabitants of the golf course are easily overlooked and only noticed when your ball lands close by. But you wouldn't want to get too close to the wood ants. They have a formidable bite and a painful sting. It may come as some surprise to learn that rabbits, probably the biggest natural pests on a golf course, may have been a direct inspiration for the game in the first place, since it is said that golf was first played by Scottish shepherds hitting small stones into rabbit holes. This doesn't, however, excuse them for digging up carefully looked-after playing surfaces. And so, there's little doubt that as well as the enjoyment golfers receive from the game itself, golf is helping to provide a much-needed sanctuary for wildlife.
Listen carefully. You will hear a man telephoning a library to find out about joining.
Good morning, North College Library. How can I help you?
I was wondering if it was possible to join the library.
Are you a student at North College?
No, I'm not, but someone told me it was possible to join even if I wasn't.
That's right, it is. Are you over 18? That's our minimum joining age.
Yes, I am.
That's no problem then.
Could you tell me what I have to do to join?
Well, you'll need to come into the library and fill out some forms. You'll also need to bring 2 passport photos with you. We also need 2 documents for ID, so a driving license would be fine.
I've got that. And what else? A credit card?
No, it needs to have your address on it.
Shall I bring a bank statement? Would that do?
That'll be fine.
Good. Does it cost anything to join?
Well, it's free for students here, but otherwise it's £125 per year, or £25 if you've got a current student card from another college.
I was at Westerly College until last year, but now I've got a job at Jefferson Steel Factory. It's more expensive than I thought. My local library is free.
But you'll find they don't have the range of reference books or facilities which we buy for our students. That's why you have to pay to be an external member.
I see. How many books can I borrow?
We allow 12 items borrowed at any one time if you're a student, and that includes CDs, DVDs and videos. However, it's only 8 items for members of the public.
Fine. And how long can I have them for?
Well, you can have both fiction and reference books for 4 weeks, which isn't bad, really.
And what happens if I return them late?
Like all libraries, there's a fine system in place. The minimum fine is £1.50, but it can be much higher for some items, up to £5 per week. We'll give you a booklet with all the details when you join. You can always renew items, if they're not required by anyone else, by telephoning or logging onto our website.
What about the computers? Can I use them free of charge?
For college students it's free, but for external members like yourself, the first hour is free, and then we make a nominal charge of £1 per hour thereafter.
Do I have to book in advance for them?
Oh yes, it's advisable. Most people tend to book 24 hours in advance, although sometimes you can get one with only 6 hours' notice. However, the earliest you can book a computer is 48 hours before you need it, and you can only book 1 hour at a time. If no one else has booked the computer out, then you may be able to have another hour if you want. We have a wide range of databases, so the computers are in great demand.
I'm thinking of doing some writing, and I might need to access national newspapers. Do you have them on these databases?
We do indeed. We've got all the big nationals, The Guardian and The Observer, The Independent, and The Times and Sunday Times. We've also got all the local papers and a wide selection of magazines.
Excellent. I assume you have photocopying facilities?
Of course. 5p a sheet for both A4 and A3 black and white copies, and 40p a sheet for colour. You can get a card from the counter here. It doesn't take coins.
Okay. Oh, by the way, another thing I was wondering about was if you ran any writing classes through the library.
We do, but you'll have to speak to John Grantingham about that. He's our resident author. He runs the creative writing classes.
John Grant... could you spell that for me, please?
Certainly. GRANTINGHAM.
Are the classes here at the library?
Yes, he's here on Thursday evenings. Oh, no, sorry, Friday. He's just changed it. You can contact him by emailing the library.
Okay. Right. Well, that's about all I need to know. Thank you. I'll be along later this week to join. Thanks. Bye.